Okay, sorry about that. Monitor, computer, it's a very complicated setup. The computer basically has a 15.5-inch screen, and since I have to use these to see, I can't see anything. I got this focal point. It's literally this far from my face. I can see things with my glasses. I can't see. I used to be able to hold my finger right here and see my fingerprint clear as day. Can't do that anymore. But the brain tumor didn't do any damage to my vision. It just magically stopped working. Anyways, this is Supernatural Part 2. We're up to episode 87. So the last one was about 50-ish. I'm still not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure it was like episode 50 to 52. I can't really remember. Once again, no damage from the brain tumor that was pressing against the central cortex of my brain and my eye nerves and stuff, you know, right smack dab in the middle of everything, just growing in all different directions for Lord knows how long, because the doctors didn't want to find it for a year and a half. It took the doctors to find it after being told exactly, well, not exactly where it was, because I didn't realize it was a pituitary tumor. Otherwise, the symptoms would have made more sense to me. But, you know, my doctors ignore my symptoms and then say, well, you don't have any proof you have any symptoms, so I'm not going to do any medical tests on you because I don't have any medical tests telling me to do medical tests because there's nothing wrong with you because there's no medical tests have been done. But anyways, as I stated in part 1, yeah, insanity, isn't it wonderful? I predicted, now, I may have actually seen some of these episodes, but I don't remember it, because I don't remember most of anything in the past 10 years, but, I mean, I barely remember watching the show yesterday. Actually, I didn't watch it yesterday, did I? I was doing something more important, because I told you, the show bores me to tears. I'm giving it like a 1 star. I mean, seriously, the continuity of a vampire is a vampire in every episode, unlike, you know, other shows where all the facts change because they got a different writer for one episode. They got this super writer who wanted to make the show his own for a day. Oh my God, I'm king for a day! But anyways, sorry, the breathing, that's a whole separate issue. That's from the scoliosis. Twisting my ribs in and around my lungs so that my lungs don't expand properly. But once again, another faked medical test proved that there's nothing wrong with my breathing, because if forced to the maximum, I can barely make a normal minimum breathing range. It's convoluted, but that's what happens when you let people who aren't qualified to be medical professionals in the medical profession, because you don't have enough people to fill the jobs. It's basically, you need 100,000 doctors, and there's exactly 100,000 medical students graduating. They all get a job, regardless of only 50,000 of them actually being qualified to have the job. You know what's also amazing? We have this thing called the Medical Licensing Board here in Massachusetts. Yeah, ISIS. I live in Massachusetts. Big whoop. I'm not scared of you. Anyways. And I'm talking about ISIS, the terrorist group, not the Egyptian god. Just for those that actually need that clarification. Anyways, I was saying something. Oh yeah, Medical Licensing Board. None of my doctors, when I go to the website and put their name in every doctor in Massachusetts is supposed to be registered, and you're supposed to be able to go to this website run by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, because we're not a state, we're a Commonwealth, which is basically a socialist organization. There's a few Commonwealths. Pennsylvania's a Commonwealth as well, another socialist entity. But anyways, I can't find my doctors on this website. Now, either the Commonwealth, as many incompetent people working for it as the medical profession, which, you know, incompetent people in government, 50% of government workers shouldn't have their job The other 50% should be flogged weekly. Anyways, they did go the God route. Now, what's convoluted here in Supernatural is they have every god imaginable accepted. They're killing gods every season. They're killing all sorts of gods, and they're banishing gods, but there's the God and the Lucifer, which are basically essentially the same gods in every religion, but in other religions, they're not the same gods. Because, of course, this is a Christian, nation, which it isn't. It's actually a religious freedom nation, which their founding fathers didn't want everyone to be mandated Christian, and also, even if it was Christian, which variation of Christianity, because, of course, the Protestants looked down on the Catholics as basically heathens. And they still, my grandfather was a Protestant, nice, big, rich, Anglo-Saxon history, Mayflower family. He married a Portuguese Catholic. He was shunned from the family because even in the 1920s, it was the Catholics were still considered dirt, the lowest of the low. I mean, basically, he would have been better off marrying a Muslim. Protestant Catholics, they're just so chummy. And most people don't even understand that actually the Protestants treat black people better than they do Catholics. Or at least things have improved slightly in the past 20 years. But, back then, Protestants were more magnanimous towards everyone but Catholics. Anyways, yeah, so that's the bad, and then they got the archangels, and they misplaced Uriel. Uriel's supposed to be a Michael class and not a Castiel class. They got, and there's only as far as my research has proved, maybe 7 archangels. And 3 of them are the same in multiple religions. See, these are not just Christian or Judeo-Christian, which basically didn't exist before 1700 BC or something. Some weird. It was basically the monotheism was created by an Egyptian pharaoh, husband to Nefertiti. What's his name? The priest dude in the mummy movies, the big mummy movies with Brandon or whatever his name was. The priest, Egyptian priest god that was the mummy. Well, he was the actual priest when Judaism was created. In the workers in the... Anyways, we're not going to get into real history because half the Bible is of non-monotheistic ideologies. They're basically saying, well, this person was alive, and he may have been related to this person, so we're just going to say that they're in different countries at different centuries, but we're going to say they're all the same family, and it's one family bloodline, and it doesn't exist, because basically half of those things existed 20,000 years ago, and the convolution, even archaeologists now are forced, if they want a budget, and they want to do research in a certain country, they actually have to say that it happened within 6,000 years. Everything happened within 6,000 years, even though, as I proved in another one of these videos, given the 3,000 years between Adam and Noah, and 5,000 years since the Ark, at least, and then the 500 years between Noah being born and Noah getting on the boat, seriously, that's 8,500. That's not 6,000. Maybe they were talking 6,000 BC or something, but even that's not true. Because Assyria is over 10,000 years old. Okay, that's enough of that.